Hi, I'm Bernie Mitchell, the AVCCAM evangelist. You know, very often when you're shooting, you want to quickly change a setting in the camera. With the AG-HMC40, this is pretty easy to do because there are 3 user buttons right on the side of the camera. And in fact, you can assign different functions to each of those buttons. This video will explain how to do that. When you first get your camera, each of the user buttons has been set to a factory default setting. Button 1 allows you to instantly go to autofocus. User button 2 allows you to adjust your image if it is strongly backlit. And user button 3 places a shot mark in the metadata. You can easily change the factory default settings of the user buttons. In fact, there are 14 different functions that you can assign one to each of the user buttons. Let's take a look at your options. To assign a new function to a user button, first touch the menu button on the bottom right side of the viewfinder. Next, touch the SW and display setup. This is where you assign functions to each user button. Your choices are inhibited, no function is assigned. Autofocus, switches from manual to autofocus. Backlight, auto iris control for backlight compensation. Spotlight, switches auto iris control on or off when your image contains a bright spotlight. Black fade, fades to black. White fade, fades to white. ATW, switches the ATW, which is auto tracking white, function on or off. ATW lock, fixes the white balance when it's pushed during ATW. High gain, the gain switches from normal to high. Digital zoom, changes the ratio of the digital zoom. Electronic viewfinder detail, emphasizes outlines of images in the LCD monitor for easier focusing. Shot mark, adds a shot mark to the metadata. Last clip, deletes the last clip shot. And waveform monitor, displays a waveform monitor on the LCD screen. Obviously, you have lots of choices when you're setting up your user buttons. However, let me tell you what my favorites are. User button 1 I usually assign to last clip. This is why. Let's say I'm shooting and I'm doing a nice smooth camera move and then right at the end, it kind of wobbles and destroys the shot. Push user button 1, bam, the shot is gone. It no longer exists. I've deleted the last clip. Let's say that you're shooting on a set and the talent stumbles. It happens. Boom, user button 1, delete last clip. Very, very good feature to have on the camera. User button 2, I usually assign to the waveform monitor. So now I'm outside shooting. I'm not sure. It's kind of hard to see the LCD screen in the bright sunlight. So I turn on the waveform monitor, and the waveform monitor works as an exposure meter. It helps me to expose my shots. User button 3, I set up for electronic viewfinder detail. This adds more sharpness to the viewfinder. But you know, I don't really use it to help me focus. I use Focus Assist for that. So those are my favorites for my user button setups. But hey, that's me. Get familiar with the AG-HMC40 and set your camera up the way that makes the most sense for you.